here tonight. Special KOF. Shout out to the homeboys at Dream Cancel. You know what I'm saying?
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Dream Council podcast. This is episode 77 of Dream Council Live. My name is Desmond, administrator of DreamCouncil.com, and I'm here with Kane317, co-administrator. What's up, man? You there?
What's up, everybody?
And on today's show, this is part 2 of the Socal KOF players' thoughts on KOF 14, the 36 character demo. They tried. It was last week. Last week was a pretty busy week. So let's introduce the guests we have. So first and foremost, we have Reynald. What's up, Reynald? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Good to have you on the show.
Long time no hear or see.
I know, man. It's been a minute, but hey, we closed the gap and things are good now. So I think it's your like 4th or 5th time on the show, so good to have you on. Next we have 4Leaf. What's up, man?
Hey, nothing much. Just trying to keep cool.
Oh yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yes, indeed. And also we have Meta Abe, aka Metaphysics. How you doing, dude?
Good, man. Just happy to be here. Talk about this dope game. It's all good.
Yes, indeed, man. Good to have you back on the show. I think you was on one of our first podcasts when we were doing like MP3s and stuff. So.
Yeah, man. It feels like a while ago. That's why I was like, wait, how does this work again?
Right. All right, cool. Good to have you.
Yeah, for sure.
So before we get into the main topic, got a lot of shout outs, a lot of promo plugs, tournament announcements and whatnot. So first and foremost, get Dream Cancel t-shirts at dreamcancel.com/shop. Here's Mysterio, Luis Cha. This is Macro Beast rocking the Dream Cancel Dirty Dream Cancel Cup shirt, and this is me rocking the shirt. And this is the button design that we've been having for a while. We're gonna have some new designs soon, so just hold tight, you know. So again, go to dreamcancel.com/shop. Oh, chat with us on the Dream Council Discord server. You can find it on the front page of Dream Council on the right-hand side. We have a lot of people up in there, people playing matches every single day. We do little online tournaments and stuff like that. We have a lot of fun. We talk about KOF, anime, whatever you want. Come hang out with us in our Discord channel server. We have a voice channel and a text channel and an images channel too. So go ahead and check it out. Oh, by King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition. You know, talking about that, there is the KOF triple pack that is still in effect until July 4th. And KOF is like, all right, the KOF games, all 3 of them, they're like 70% off. Like KOF 13 is $4.99. KOF 2002 UM and 98 UMFE are $2.99. This is gonna last until July 4th, Independence Day. So if you have under like $12 and you don't have any of these games, you can get them now on Steam for, I won't even say dirt cheap, man. These games are gold. Like this is like treasures. These are cheap treasures that you can get, man. And the games have decent netcode and they run well. So again, the KOF triple pack is in effect until July 4th. Go ahead and get these 3 games. If you already have those games and you want to buy them from someone else, go ahead, get them from someone else. If you don't have one of the games, get one of the games. They're very cheap. Again, 70% off until July 4th. What's next? Shout-outs to Team Chaos. We had Romance on last week. Donate to Dream Council at dreamcouncil.snk@gmail.com. Shout-outs to rochanaji.com. And Summer Jam. This is August 19th in Essington, Pennsylvania. KOF will be there. Will 14 be there? I don't know. Like we're not sure, but we'll see. And right now, CEO is actually going on, and we've been watching a lot of the exhibitions and stuff that's been going on there. We'll talk about a little of what we've seen so far a little later. Going to some news. What we have? Oh, did any of y'all hear about this? KO14 will actually be on television in Japan. Kane, do you know much about this?
No, I just heard briefly that it's a first for them, that they're going to be on some crazy like esports, and it really just kind of just reinforces the popularity and anticipation of 14 in general. But yeah, that's all I know so far.
Okay, yeah, same here. But if you want to know more, the article is on MM Cafe. Shout outs to them. And speaking of MM Cafe, they also translated a very good article that I read with the developers of KOF 14, and one of them talked about there's going to be a Garo 2. So here is an image courtesy of 4gamer.net. So what did y'all think of that when you heard about it, or when you read the article, or do any of y'all know?
I read it briefly too.
Oh, damn, my fault, y'all. I didn't mean all at once. Metaphysics, what'd you think, man?
I mean, like, I was a fan of the game, but I didn't really play it like all too seriously because, I mean, that was a while back. But I thought it was great that they actually released some of this stuff, because I know it had been in the back burner for years now. So, you know, it's really cool that they're being a lot more transparent with how they did stuff, like back in the day and now, you know.
Yeah. Kane, were you gonna say something?
No, I mean pretty much the same thing. I read what they're saying, and they're talking about like who worked on what, and yeah, I personally didn't play Mark of the Wolves. It's weird. I played all the Fate of Furies except Mark of the Wolves, and people laugh because apparently that's the most popular one. But yeah, I know Gibby's excited about that.
Oh yeah, shouts to Gibby for sure. Yeah, Reynald, did you play a lot of Mark of the Wolves?
No, not really.
Okay.
I played a little bit, but you know, I wasn't like ridiculous like Gibby.
Okay. Four Leaf?
Ridiculous.
Dabbled on it a few times, mostly on PC. So
Okay.
maybe that's why I didn't, get in on it as much, because it was on keyboard. So yeah. Other than that, probably once at Evo. I think 2012 when they brought it. I think Gibby brought a cab. Yeah, just played it for a few hours. It was fun.
Okay. Wow. I guess all of us are kind of dabblers in Garo. Yeah, I liked it. I didn't play it too extensively. I always had mad respect for it. But yeah, that's very interesting that that they're sharing this. So that's pretty good. And also in that interview, they talked a lot about a lot of the features that's going to be in the game. One thing that I would say, take that was pretty interesting was about the jump speed, because I know a lot of people noticed the jump speed in KOF 14, and they said the jump speed is loose on purpose. Previous KOFs were designed for the arcades, but 14 will be mainly played online, and the game was specifically designed to accommodate that. Speaking in detail, the game was designed so that with 2 to 4 frames of lag, it'll feel very much like 02 or 13. What do y'all think of that?
At least it's not 8 frames of lag.
Damn, shots fired.
Oh man, going savage. Okay. All right.
I mean, I think it's good that they're really, have netcode in mind, of course. And the other interview with Oda-san did say, like, hey, I've been tracking 13's progress, the concerns of 13's netcode since then, and so we built it ground up with that in mind. So hopefully that's gonna be something that's gonna turn out well, because we all know how important the netcode is. One last thing I want to mention is, I think one thing about the interview about Garo 2 really is kind of indicative of the financial state that SNK is in. So hopefully that's a great sign that they're really going back to different IPs and stuff.
Yes. Yes. Well said. All right, and also we found some images. There have been some images floating around of the speaking of net play, of screens from the net play. There's this screen right here. It looks like of the party battle mode, and this seems more like the 12 player lobby.
Yeah.
Right here. So, what do y'all think about this this upcoming party battle mode, Reynald?
You know, I think it's been a long time coming. They've been trying to do it since 12, but obviously that didn't work out. But I'm hopeful for this one.
Right. Okay. Metaphysics? Oh, Meta A, my bad.
It doesn't matter. It's all good.
Okay.
One and the same. Actually, I'm interested in like trying to do this stuff offline, like with friends or stuff, or maybe at like an event or something. But yeah, online's cool. I'm just kind of like concerned or curious as to how it's gonna work with 6 different connections. Like that's pretty ambitious.
Yeah, it's very ambitious, man. I'm very eager to see how it's going to work too, man. Because like, I mean, I hope it's not a issue of like one person's bad connection will affect the whole the whole party or something like that. Unless they're doing something where they're just like connecting people, when they play, against each other directly. Instead of just like having all the connections shared or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But you always got that one dude though that's like downloading stuff and he don't tell nobody,
Yeah, exactly. One dude on torrents or something like that, or somebody on their Wi-Fi or something, rocking some old internet. But we'll definitely see, man.
Yeah.
RJ, before we leave, what do you think about Party Battle?
Yeah, it might be a mess. I think that's it. One or two guys probably going to screw up the whole thing. Wonder if there's going to be like a thing available where people could like kick them out and like somebody else during matches. Yeah, but yeah, I would like to see some sort of stuff like that offline too.
Okay.
Yeah, come to think, but they didn't really mention. They only said it was an online feature. Yeah, hopefully they make it offline as well.
How would that work, like, offline, though? You have to, like, just trade sticks or something, or what?
I mean, it could be like I guess it could be like a LAN center style, but I suppose it's...
What, 6 setups?
Yeah, like, what was it? I think Street Fighter 4 was like that in the arcades, where they had like a tournament setting, and, like, you can just play, and then you can randomly play people that's not next to you. I forgot what it was. It was something like...
You mean in the arcade?
Yeah, the old in Japan only or something. I remember reading about it.
Well, that's because like the cabs were linked and stuff. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
When you would win, you'd play the other person that's been waiting for a match, or vice versa, stuff like that. Okay. Kind of like the Guilty Gear lobby, I guess. Kind of. If you guys, I don't know if you guys play Guilty.
I play a little. I used to, but I understand what you mean. Like Exert, right?
Yeah.
Word. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see when the game comes out how it really is. And also, there's another picture of training mode right here. And I know there will be an online training mode too, so I'm excited for that. That should be.
That's cool. That's definitely cool.
Word. All right.
You know what'd be cool to add in training mode? Hitboxes. Wouldn't that be a thing? Why aren't they adding hitboxes to these games now?
Yeah, doesn't like Skullgirls have hitbox viewer or something like that, or one of these like newer games?
I never understood why they never allowed us to see it either.
Maybe it's too much. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's too much to reveal, I guess. I mean, it depends on the developer, but I know what you mean. But I don't know.
You know, I just thought about something. I remembered, I think it was Stunfest. Oh no, where did I see that? Someone pointed out there's a picture floating on the internet somewhere, like the training mode had like frames. Like it had like... Did you guys remember seeing that? I remember, I swear it was Reynald. He wrote it something like, look, you know, it shows you what the plus and minus frames are. I was like, wow, that's sick. I haven't seen it since then, or any mention of that since then.
Right.
I gotta find that picture somewhere.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully this mode, as well as party battle mode and the whole online mode, will work really well when the game comes out. So, all right. Why don't
Just
we?
happy.
Wait.
Bare bones.
What was you gonna say, man?
No, I'm just happy it's not bare bones, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot of modes. All right, cool. So, why don't we just start with the Q&A that I have, and Kane, if you have any questions on your end, you can go ahead and queue them up. But basically, man, I'm kind of just gonna like almost ask a lot of the same things I did with Romance and with Kane last week. So first and foremost, I wanted to ask, what's the first thing you noticed when you started playing the game, movement-wise? Reynald?
I think the run speed is a little bit slower than it was in 13. And definitely the hops or just jumps in general are a little bit slower. But I think well, obviously they did that on purpose for the online part, but the gameplay definitely changes because of that. So the very first build, I don't know if I can talk about that or not. But I could say that I did not like the first build that I tried out, and yeah, I just did not like it. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I can add on to that, but
Okay.
but the decent build for sure. I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
RJ, what about you?
Hit stuns sucked. Yeah. I guess the models were a little bit bigger than most KOF games. Maybe that's why it looks like the run speed is slower. Maybe it is slower, but other than that, yeah, hit stuns need to be a little bit longer.
So you're saying that the hit stun felt too short?
Yeah, it felt too short, and it didn't even feel like it was there. Almost, well, with like the light hits anyway. Like Leona's down B, stab B. I get far B most of the time. It's weird, and sometimes it's hard to tell for me when if the guy is like if the other character is getting hit, or if
Like
they're
the hit
blocking.
effects? You mean like the hit and block effects?
Yeah. It's hard for me to detect it in some stages, like the Socal stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was having a hard time confirming sometimes.
Okay. All right. Mede, what about you? What was the first thing you noticed when you started playing the game?
So definitely the first thing I noticed is kind of basically what they've been saying is movement, in general. So movement, it felt different. I don't know if I immediately felt that it was like a laggy type movement or whatever, but it didn't exactly fit into like how 13 was, because that's, or even like a 98 or something like that, because I feel like their speeds are kind of similar. But I will say on another note, what Four Leaf was saying, the hit stun too and stuff like that. Like for instance, in 13, a lot of the offense that you see it'd be like down B, run forward, down B, or run forward, throw, or whatever. Kind of like a little pseudo mix-up that you have right there. It's not as strong in this. You will get poked out. I guess that's what Four Leaf is trying to say, because even when I try to incorporate that, you have to adjust for like the difference in speed of like when you're supposed to press the down B, or how like if you can move forward, or you feel unsafe. But I really think that attributes it to being a newer game, but definitely doesn't feel as strong of like offensively in that way as it did in like 13.
Okay. Well said. I feel the same way. All right, let's get into another, I would say, line of questions. It's about the graphics. So we all know some people had some thoughts about the graphics. How do you feel about the graphics after just seeing the game, face to face on a screen compared to trailers, on a video? Reynald?
Honestly, when I'm not playing and I'm watching videos, it doesn't look that good, honestly. They did so these later builds that they've created definitely helped out the graphics a little bit. They've upgraded the graphics. I'm pretty sure they're going to continue to do that up until the final release. But when you're actually playing the game, it's not. You do notice little things here and there. I think it also ties into the run speed. How Abe was saying how 13 and 98 was kind of similar in the run speed. You were saying that, right?
Yeah.
So 14, because of its graphics, it looks a little bit smoother. That's why it also feels different in terms of speed of running and walking. So, I mean, it's definitely better now. But watching it versus playing it, definitely it looks a lot better playing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Four Leaf, what are your thoughts on the graphics?
Playing it on a smaller screen, yeah, it was slightly better, but I really noticed a big difference when I was playing it on E3 at the Sony station. They had like those huge, I think it was like 55-inch Bravias. Man, it was gorgeous. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, those screens were amazing. They literally made me want to buy like one of those screens.
It was really nice.
Okay. All right. Meta Abe, what about you, man? What are your thoughts on the graphics so far?
So I think if you're able to look at the game less from like a straight up graphics type of way and look at it as like more stylistically, you can learn to really appreciate the game because for one, for me, it's, there's a lot of the backgrounds on there that I think are legit really great looking backgrounds. What was it, the Mexico stage, and then there's the one in the roof temple, and a few outside, or was it the Hydron Fleet one on the airship?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That one's pretty dope too.
The Geese Howard stage is sick, man. In the
Yeah, I
trailer,
think that's the one I was talking about. Yeah, that one. But yeah, like, and not just that though. Like, there's a lot of character put into like the animations, like in supers and stuff like that. That really they couldn't take too much advantage on a 2D plane because it just requires like different camera angles and close-ups of the facial expressions, which you kind of couldn't really do in 2D. So I really think that it allowed them to really explore the aesthetic and character of these characters that they've created to really show off. Like, for instance, I know a lot of you guys liked, God, what's the girl's name? Mien, or what was it? The girl that changes her masks?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mien.
Like, so you think about it, right? Like, when she does her Neomax or her level 3 super, there's a lot of little nuances that are there, like in timing or the way that she changes her face or the remarks that she does that really gives it a lot of style, the game. I feel like the game has a lot of style. The fidelity of the graphics maybe aren't quite up to par to like other games, but I actually think stylistically it's up there with any other game. I actually think stylistically it's better than Street Fighter 4 or 5. Sorry. So I mean that's how I feel about that.
The new characters, I think they had more time doing. So yeah, they definitely had like a more smoother look to their animations than the older characters. That's what I noticed.
Okay. Interesting thoughts, indeed. All right, next questions. These are going to be more gameplay questions. I'm going to step away from the visuals and graphics a bit. So, what do y'all really think of the max mode system compared to like 13's HD, or even going back to maybe like O2's max mode? What are your thoughts on the max mode system, Reynald?
It's definitely scarier to get hit, you know, because you could get, 30-40% damage just from one down B. Just depends on the character, obviously.
Scarier than 13?
I think so, because you're always going to have meter for that.
Yeah.
Unlike 13, you have to build the HD meter to actually do it.
Not only that, you got to think about the fact that you use HD for super cancel and drive cancels too. So you kind of don't have that, like, you don't have that issue anymore because cancels are free. Like, I mean, as far as like, yeah. So that helps a lot too. So max mode is pretty good.
Yeah, EX moves are free.
I mean, you got to think about it this too. In 13, each EX move, whatever, represent anywhere from 120 to 200 damage, give or take. But you can potentially do 2 or 3 of these, especially if you're raw. Up to 4 of them, I think, if you do it raw, depending on the character, with 1 meter. That's huge.
It also depends on where your character is. So if you start off like on lead, I believe it has the meters 1,000, like how much you can do it. And then if you go second, it's 1,250, and then last is 1,500.
Yep, that's correct.
So you can let about like 5 or 6 raw EXs rip, and if on Anchor, and if you really think about it, right, it kind of actually pushes you to kind of do it raw on Anchor, or even like on a lot of situations where on like in 13, it's like unless you wanted to do a drive cancel or go into HD, like raw activation was like not a good idea unless it's like a last ditch effort that you wanted to rip this Neomax that cost you only 2 meters in HD mode. So like I think it's completely different from 13 in that regards, and I would consider it more of a combination of 98 max mode and 02 max mode, where it's like you do want to just let it rip, and yeah, you want to use it in the combos if you got enough meter, but a lot of those characters function at such a better rate in max mode that you kind of do want to do it raw.
Per example, Mai.
Right.
All right, we'll get into Mai in a little bit. There's a bunch of characters I actually want to talk about later. Man, yeah, there's quite a bit. All right, so let's delve a little deeper. So I mean, I'm hearing some reference to like 98, a little bit 02. So, what past KOF games does 14 feel to you, Reynald?
Honestly, I don't think it feels like any of the games. I think it's definitely its own game. It has KOF elements, but definitely its own game.
Okay. So it borrows older concepts, but it feels But okay.
It feels like it's just a different KOF game. It doesn't feel like anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Four Leaf, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's its own game with like just borrowed elements from, borrowed mechanics from 02 and 98. Well, damage of the 98 and mechanics of 02, I guess. But gameplay wise, yeah, it's its own game.
Okay. Meta Abe?
I would say that really what's always been important to me, and like when I play games or how I approach it, is really learning the movement of the game. And in that regards, it does feel like a completely different game. Like I can't really, like the feel of it just feels completely different. I mean, system-wise, it's kind of like we already discussed. It feels like a combination of 98 and 02. But yeah, just the way things work. I don't think there's been a game where you could just get. I didn't play all the games, but where there was like free super cancels, like that cancel into each other like for free that don't cost meter. So that's unique, like really unique to me, as far as like the games I played that are King of Fighters games or KOF games. So in that sense, like you really do have to approach it in a unique way if, say, your background is only 98, 02, and 13.
I think I'll speak for us. And the first few sessions, a lot of us had trouble kind of adjusting our mentality because we were trying to like play it like 13, and most people will try to play it like 13 in the beginning, and like, you know, meter usage and trying to hog on the meter for like big combos, and you know, which we touched upon. You should really, you know, certain characters really it would behoove you to really use the maximum raw, and then really like character specific things, like, you know, trying to think of, instead of linking moves, how you normally would in 13, you would just use it more like you just really got to approach it like a different game, and it's hard for most of us to really, like I said, adjust your thinking. But once you realize it's a brand new game, then you start to really understand the concepts of how they wanted to implement the game changes and the game mechanics. Then it becomes really, really fun.
Okay. Here's a question that just popped in my head related to the last question. So, if someone, you know, wants to get into 14, you know, it's coming out in 2 months. What KOF or KOF should they play? Should they play all the big ones, or is there a certain KOF that you guys think that they should play to prepare for it? What do you think? I'm gonna switch it around and ask Meta Abe.
I'm gonna say play this one. Because I feel like you really don't need a lot of knowledge from the other games. Like, I do feel like you did need that in 13, you know, because of the way the archetypes of the character are. But I think this is it's very straightforward, and I think maybe the only things that people might have a hard time getting used to is like the newer characters, because people aren't quite sure yet how to use the utility of those characters. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have anything to play, obviously, because, you know, the game's not out yet, I probably would suggest playing games like 98. I think more so 98 than probably 02. Because I feel like it's the way you approach movement and offense, and you kind of can't replicate that in this new game, and that's, to me, is going to be the hardest thing for people to get used to. So you playing those games might jack you up on how you get used to playing 14.
Okay. Four Leaf, what do you think, man?
I think 13 would probably be the closest because of just the EX moves in general, and then you can do max mode, I guess. Well, HD, activate HD, just practice, you know, practice your combos. You got your EX available. I know the juggles are going to be probably different, but you'll get an idea at least on how, you know, I guess, what's this, theory crafting your combos when 14 comes out. Like, maybe I can do this EX to this normal move to this EX move. You know, obviously you don't do drive cancels because, you know, there's no drive cancel in the game. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Well, at least with my character, Leona, at least, and Athena. And that's how I adjusted pretty quick with 14. Well, this build anyway. You know, like, maybe I could do this to this, and yeah, it worked. Worked out pretty well.
All right. Reynald, any thoughts about what RJ and Meta said about preparing for KOF 14?
No, they pretty much covered it. Like Abe said, you can't really prepare for it. There's going to be a lot of different mechanics from game to game, like even starting from 94 all the way up to here. You're always going to have a different game mechanic, and especially because it's no longer the same sprites. Yeah, everything is going to be different.
I think the only thing is what RJ said earlier is that the timing of light hits into the activation, that is probably the only thing you can really like truly practice because it's, from what I can tell, identical. So like, light hit, activate, auto dash, hit him again. That's pretty much exactly like 13. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. I want to actually go back a little bit to the systems that are in KOF 14 so far. So, what do y'all think of Just Defend? From what I've been noticing, Just Defend, all it does is just reduce guard damage, and from what I read, that it just gives you a little bit of meter. But how do y'all feel about using Just Defend or instant block? Reynald?
I don't know. It just feels the same, honestly.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should ask. Do y'all think maybe it should be expanded on further, or are you okay with how it is now?
I think it should. Honestly, I think it should give maybe an extra frame or two for from getting from Bloxton, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah, a frame or two. Nothing like super OP, but a frame
You're
or two.
+6, bro.
Yeah, not from a Just Defend now.
Yeah. And I'll comment on that because I feel in this game, though the light pressure from your light buttons isn't where it used to be in other games. The special move, a lot of them are safe or even like way plus. So that would actually help a lot of that pressure that's usually not. I really feel like it's going to be pretty free. It would be able to mitigate that into a higher level of play where it's like, all right, I know you're going to do this same block string with Terry where it's stand C into, let's just say, B power charge, right? Which is either neutral or like +1. And now you're on top and the other person has to adjust to that. At high level play, it would be like amazing to see that, like those type of adjustments. Because that'll only be by like a few frames and stuff, and people would have to play a lot tighter, and it would change the way that the game's played. But yeah, I don't think it needs to be anything greater. I just see that it could be a really positive layer to add to the game.
Yeah.
Okay. RJ, any thoughts on Just Defend?
No, not really. It seemed pretty tight just doing it on reaction, but when I'm like not paying attention to it, just like regularly blocking. I mean, I seen a notice I was doing Just Defense, just not on purpose. So if they want to do something with it, yeah, add like another frame advantage because I mean the risk reward on that right now, I don't think it's worth it. Doing it on purpose.
It definitely feels pretty tight on doing Just Defend. I'm probably the only one who doesn't want any frame changes. I think I actually like it the way it is right now. The only thing I would change was maybe make it a little lenient in activating Just Defend, but I think the reward itself is fine.
Yeah, make it lenient and no frame advantage, and everything else the same, or make it strict and have a frame advantage.
That's true. Yeah, one or the other. You're right.
Okay. All right. Another game mechanic that I would like to ask y'all's opinion on is the auto rush combo system, where you just press stand light punch and the combo comes out if you have meter or not. Want to know what do y'all think about that, Reynald?
That's gonna be handy.
It could be bad for certain characters, just depending on the super that they end up with, because not all the supers are going to be the same. Because Goro has a command grab super, and some other characters are going to have supers that do a lot of hits, and the damage reduction is going to take into effect. But just the system itself, I don't think it's that overpowering because it has to be a close stand A. So you can't do the auto combo from a far stand A. I think that's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay. Four Leaf, what are your thoughts on the auto combo?
I think in close matches, you're going to see a lot of like fishing for down Bs to auto combo. Like somebody trying to close out the match, somebody has like less than 200 health. You know, instead of like going for big hits, you know, fishing for those down Bs to auto combos. Who knows? I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah, just to clarify, you can do a down B into 3 stand A's, and it would trigger the auto combo.
And a jump in too, if you time it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Meta Abe, thoughts on auto rush combo button system?
I probably tested it out the least just because, like, I don't know, like, I'm stubborn or whatever. Like, I didn't want to, like, use auto combo, you know?
No shame, man. No shame.
No, I know, but it's just, like, I just wanted to, I don't know, learn more stuff about the game, and I was like, well, I guess I'll figure that out whenever that comes out, but at the same time, it's kind of a mistake, because it could be, like, a defining factor, like, we don't know yet. Like, it's one of those things where it's there, and until somebody really finds a way to use it, like, in a very powerful way, like, for me, a person like me, I probably wouldn't even consider it. Like, somebody would have to convince me. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's great because, like, 13, I think it was really hard for people to do combos in that game, you know, or, like, something really flashy, like how people who've been playing the game for a while can, you know, like, the whole cancel stuff and all that stuff. So I think this is a pretty good middle ground for casual players to have this option, more so than, like, if we're thinking in a competitive terms. I think overall, and just the way the game is, I think it's a pretty good sell to help casual players get into the game.
Or if you're Reynald, you want to disrespect your opponent with auto combo finish.
Dude, it's the best option to finish off somebody like that. Auto combo. I mean, man,
You just
No
do
input.
your best Xiaohai impression. One hand. Kill him with one hand.
All right.
no input error, man.
So check this out. I'm currently out of questions for, I would say, system mechanics for the game. So I'm gonna start going to the characters, and I know a lot of people have thoughts and a lot of people have questions on the different characters in the 14 that we have so far in this 36 character build. So so Reynald, I saw you playing with Maximo. What do you think of him compared to like 13 or just overall?
He has his damage is still pretty good in general. His Socal back punch doesn't have as far of a range as it did in 13 or the other KOFs, which is I think is also a good thing because he does have auto guard in this game. You know, a lot of characters don't have EX anymore unless they pop, you know, max mode. So getting in on him is going to be a little bit more difficult than it was in 13. Especially because of the game, the speed of the game as well.
He looks faster, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look faster than he did in 13. I think that's because just in general everybody else is right around the same speed. I think that's just from what I can see.
Not King of Dinosaurs. No, no.
Oh yeah, never mind. Besides him, but yeah, definitely Maxima's a little bit faster. Yeah. Definitely a good character.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Four Leaf, what characters did you play around with, man?
Played with Athena, Nakaruru, and Leona.
Okay.
I'd say, yeah, Nak and Leona. I kind of switch them around for anchor and point. I like them both as point and anchor because of the system. It's just, I mean, an anchor is just the damage. It's so crazy off of one hit.
Four Leaf, why don't you tell people about that one match you started off with?
Yeah, I started off the match with CD, with Leona. This was Anchor Leona. Stand CD to her Ground Saber, to her follow-up, to level 2 V Slasher, to Neo, to her level 3. I think it was about 850 damage.
Yeah, so just for those who aren't familiar, the Stand CD does that wall crumple, so it sends them flying across the screen, and they crumple. He then canceled it into her Sonic Boom kick, which she travels around the ground. Then she has that little follow-up move now from the old games. So after the Ground Saber, she has a strong follow-up. She canceled that into the V Slasher Super, and then she climax canceled it. And it was like a I don't know, like a 5-second combo to 800 damage. So she's a good anchor character. I think she kind of falls under like Mai's category, where like they really haven't changed much, but they really just take advantage of 14's mechanics.
I mean, don't whiff, like I say, yeah, don't whiff anything with Leona, if you're playing against Leona, I mean, with full meter, because if you do, I mean, that's Stand CDs right there to the follow-up. I mean, you watch your overheads too, because off of a jump V overhead, you're going to be, like, losing 820, I think, with a full meter Leona. Well, from this build anyway. I don't know if there's going to be any changes.
Yeah, of course, standard disclaimer, what we were playing.
Yeah, I always say so far. All right, I don't mean to jump back because y'all just brought up something that I forgot to ask about the system in KOF 14 so far. And the big change is the Stand CDs. You hit them with it and they like hit the wall and they crumple. What do y'all think of that so far? I mean, compared to like the other games where you just hit them with a Stand CD and soft knockdown. But what do you think about it, Reynald?
Well, what was the core question again? Sorry.
Oh, about Stand CD. How do you feel about the change of that it can wall splat and then crumple?
Oh, I love it. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I think it's hilarious. I don't see anything wrong with it. Most characters, or there's a lot of characters that can benefit from it, and there are some that can't, because they could be too slow or something, or you have to actually react to you, or you have to know for sure that you're going to get that hit. But there are other characters, that can really utilize that Stand CD. Sorry.
Okay. Meta, what do you think about the new Stand CD function?
Actually, if you really think about it, so think about how 13 played out and how a lot of times there was these really oppressive characters that would be on top of you, and the only way that you can get them off is say like a blowback or a guard cancel blowback or like an uppercut or things like that, which wouldn't really take them that far. But if you're able to land a CDs, all of a sudden the gameplay has changed, because now you can go on the offensive and now you have all this space to work with. And really what I'm thinking about is characters like Iori and Kyo, when they would be so strong on the offensive and it would be just so hard to get them out of your face, that now characters who are really strong CDs can set up their offense with that. And it's crazy because when we were playing, I did land a lot of random CDs, and depending on what type of supers you have also, you can capitalize on that too, man. Like Mui Mui, for example, has the like I guess like the Ryu Marvel 2 super, or like like Kamehameha type. Yeah. And that'll reach clear across the screen, so you get to convert off of that easy. And there's other characters that have something similar like that. Like Andy will get a Neomax if he wants it, stuff like that. But you got to consider in the gameplay how much it'll affect that. And it's like, for instance, even against Fireball characters, like a lot of times I was getting frustrated playing against Athena. And it was like, man, like it's so hard with certain characters to really close the distance against her. But say I land a random CD, all of a sudden now I get to start my offense, and I think it's harder for her when somebody's on top of her. They have to commit to kind of an unsafe wake-up game where they can get predicted and get converted for a lot of damage. So I just think in that way it's pretty interesting.
You know, I want to add, in general, because we mentioned the normals a little bit used more in this game, and, you know, such a heavy neutral game compared to before. Like, standing CDs at the right distance is the perfect counter for pokers. So I really thought, like, you know, kudos to SNK for really implementing that as a system to complement each other. You know, okay, so if they're going to be poking heavy, if it's a strong footsie game, a strong neutral game, boom, stand CD and just start your offense. And I also want to add, most people didn't get a chance to see, but now that when you activate, so, you know, when you're doing a max mode, you do a stand C, whatever, command normal, activate, stand C, command normal, you don't always have to do a stand C afterwards, you can do a standing CD. So you basically activate into a standing wall splat, and then you can go crazy. So that's going to be interesting as that unfolds.
That's interesting. Okay.
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, punishing light hits where people love to spam it just to stop somebody from being on the offensive. You know, low risk for, you know, turning it around on the opponent. Kind of bugs the heck out of me, you know. So with this in mind, then you're gonna have to, like, you know, be careful with their button pressing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I would like to jump back to the character discussion a little bit. So, all right, let's go with Striker Dragoon. He said Benny Maru. So, Reynald, I saw you playing with Benny Maru a little bit and Miss KOF as well, if I clearly recall. What'd you think of Benny Maru in 14 so far?
He's not as good. I think it's because of the game mechanics itself. If you noticed, I don't know if you guys watched the Wednesday night special, but I was using Benny Maru's pokes on a crouching character. Now, a lot of them will whiff if they're crouching. That means they could get a free punish if I'm poking standing up. So stand C, stand B, stand A will whiff a crouching character. And that goes for a lot of different characters in this game in general. So, you know, obviously smaller characters won't have that issue, but definitely the mid-sized to taller characters are. So, with that being said, I don't think he's as good, but he's still, in general, in this game, I don't think there's going to be a lot of characters that are going to be, like, OP. Not in the sense that we thought of OP in 13.
Okay.
Not in that sense, at least.
No write-ins?
No, no, you know, 10-second charge write-ins or anything like that. Double drop kicks into whatever, and you're dead. Nothing like that. Or arcade version K-Dash, where his hop D was just godlike. You know, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Or
that we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. But I don't think that's going to change because of, you know, of how slow the jumps are in this game. They're definitely a lot slower, and you can react to those hops if you're looking for them, or jumps.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Benny Maru from anyone?
Well, he lost his DP. Which
oh, yeah, that's right.
So, his offense definitely has changed. Also, he can't combo off a throw anymore, so I don't think anybody has that so far that we all know of.
Yeah, no combo into throw.
Yeah.
Off a throw, yeah.
Yeah, so, which is good, because, you know, he doesn't need that. I don't think anybody needs that.
All right.
But definitely this game is a much... I don't want to say it's balanced. I want to say it's a fair game.
Like a more honest game?
Yes, more honest, more fair. It's not balanced. I can't say it's balanced. I can say it's fair.
Okay. Four Leaf, you play with Athena quite a bit, right? Or
unfortunately, he does.
Yeah. She's probably more. I don't know. I could still play offensive with her. Oh, yeah, but she feels more zoner type now, and her her like command grab into combos. It seems like the timing's a little bit different. Max mode wise, probably not the best use of meter. I think.
Well, her raw fireballs are pretty good, right?
Yeah. Well, no, actually, I think when I was playing her, her EX fireballs. I mean, one would land, but the other two would like not combo for some reason on jumping attack on jumping opponents. Round wise, yeah, it's cool, but you know, most of the time you want to set that up for for people to jump. You know, mix it up with like regular fireballs and EXs, so you can set up the combos. But no, it didn't seem that good. I mean, if they're jumping in and they get hit by the first hit of the EX, they can just like don't recovery roll while landing, and the fireball would just like pass by him. Hopefully that'll change in the final build, but yeah, it's.
Did you play around with her EX teleport at all?
Yeah, can't cancel anytime. You can't cancel, not like 13. I know you're happy about that.
I mean, oh man.
But yeah, other than that, let me see. EX, command throw. I didn't see any difference than with regular. I mean, you could combo into it, I guess, with light and normal hits, but other than that, following it up, maybe Psycho Ball, but I think it's better to make the opponent land instead and take the damage than doing Psycho Ball or any other. I don't know. She seems kind of limited.
All right. Ooh. Here's a character I'm kind of seeing in the chat pop up at least twice. Tung Furu. Did anyone try out Tung at all?
I think I was the only one. I think Mr. KOF, John, did a little bit. He's definitely got some strengths, but he's definitely got some glaring shortcomings. Like his normals, he's got one or two that are decent, but he really suffers from reach. His damage overall is a tad bit on the low side, but he's got really good. I mean, technically speaking, all his supers are actually really good. But in terms of landing them, it's going to be a different issue. His EX, I guess flex, the EX flex where he gets like really big when you rapidly push the button.
Yeah.
You can if you can time it correctly, you can juggle them multiple times. I did that once in the corner, but I don't know what we can do after that. His EX fireball does a wall bounce, so the one that looks like actual fireball. And by the way, that's actual fireball too, so it does not build meter if you don't make them block or hit. His EX lunge punch, otherwise known as ghetto burning knuckle, it's okay, but you can't consistently super cancel into any of his supers mid-screen. You basically have to go into the max supers. His command throw, his uppercut kick, when he steps on them sideways, it's actually pretty good. You can actually pretty much consistently do 2 light hits to the down forward A, which is the command normal, into the grab, pretty much consistently. EX version just has a little bit more range and does more damage. And then the last move he has, which is that little helicopter move, those Brian Battler fans, doesn't work. It doesn't work the way it used to do. Like, you can't just like let it rip really early and he flies off the screen. It doesn't work that way. He basically changes no trajectory or gets any other speed increase when he does it. He can, I think, combo better with the EX spin, but that's about it. Overall, he's kind of like mid-tier. I don't know. We'll need more time to figure out.
Okay. Is that your phone, by the way?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My phone was going off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that thing is buzzing, man. Busy man, dude. Word. Okay. Ooh, Nelson. Anyone checked out Nelson or try to check out Nelson?
I kind of gave him a little bit of a shot, but more so, I was observing Richard Wynn, which he really really gave effort into that character, and he seems really interesting, man. Like, I feel like he's gonna be one of those characters that's really heavy on pressing buttons a lot, because his buttons are really good, and they're all different because they're like they're command chains and stuff like that, you know. So I don't know. He seems, I kind of can't really tell where he lands, but he's definitely a unique character in this game.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Nelson? None? Dang. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to wait till the game comes out, because yeah, like I was telling people at Combo Breaker, he seems like a character that you're gonna have to like seriously lab and just sit down and try to understand all of his tools.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of those. Like, we'll just have to see. I think he does have a lot of potential.
Well, you better block right against that character, that's for sure. He gets a lot of stuff off of overheads and stuff like that. So.
Hey, did we ever figure out if his guard crush? Did we ever figure out if you can do anything after the guard crush?
If you space it right, you can get. I think the best I was able to do was like a stand A, but you can't really get like a stand C to connect or anything like that.
I do remember them mentioning that because both his supers are just one hitters, that he actually does very well to advance cancels, because there's less skill damage. There's only one hit.
Probably, yeah.
So his advance cancels are actually pretty good.
Okay. All right. What else we got here? Oh, Reynald, man. How do you like Mai? Because we were talking with Romance last week, and he's like, "Yo, Mai is really good." But how do you like Mai so far in this build? If you're there.
I think he's on mute.
Yeah, he's mute, and he turned off his camera. Okay. All right. I'll ask one of y'all, and then maybe he'll pop back in. RJ, did you try out Mai or fight against Mai? What do you think of her?
I fought against. Well, yeah, I fought against Mai, but she's just like 13 Mai. Oh, she just seems strong because, like I said, like before this cast started, that her normals are really good. Again, she's like 13, but like the other casts don't have like EX moves off the top of her, just to get Mai off of them. So they'll have to activate each max mode just to get those EX moves to keep the pressure off of them. So just like with Leona, really good. Don't have to worry about like a lot of reversals because they don't have their EX versions with them. That's invulnerable. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
You just everybody else is limited. I guess.
Like she pretty much stayed the same, and everyone else had to adapt. Right? Because like it's a strong normal game. Nothing's really changed. Only thing she got is the far cancelable D is now cancelable, and now she has a really good super that's actually pretty reliable anti-air. So she pretty much fixed a couple things and stayed the same and takes advantage of Fortune's mechanics.
All right, Reynald, man, I see you're rocking Mai. What'd you think of her, man?
Yeah, she feels exactly the same as 13. Besides, the use of EX. I started using Mai towards the end of 13's life. If there is going to be a side tournament for 13, I'm most likely going to be using her. But there's really not much of a difference between 13 Mai and 14 Mai, except for her target combo. Stand B, stand D. That only works if she's up close, like in front of the opponent. So it doesn't work as a far stand B into stand D anymore, which is okay because I think she'd be even better with that because she could convert a lot more damage just using that target combo. Like I said, the max mode system in this game is much more scarier because you can convert anytime you want as long as you have meter, and you're almost always going to have meter in this game.
Yeah, you actually, I don't think we brought this up, but when you win a round, I'm sorry, when your next character comes in, you gain a meter no matter what.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's
so
why
like
you're always going to have meter. Yep.
Yeah, you're always going to have meter. Like, no matter what, you always get one extra meter when your second character comes in, and same thing for your third. So, like, it's great. And, like, I saw what you did, like, you know, EX Fireball, and with mine, and with this, what happens, the second part, the fan bounces upwards, and it hits the opponent, and you can just confirm to climax, right?
Right. I mean, there's a lot of mix-ups you can actually get off of that, too.
You can probably throw them, too, while the pan is landing, because... I don't know if it'll deactivate the block stun.
Block stun, right. Huh.
Yeah, so she gets a lot of mix-ups on it, and you can... She definitely has a lot of space control in this game. I mean, she doesn't have a DP, but her super, if you use it correctly, you know, it could be a good anti-air.
The one with the flames surrounding her, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, what do you feel about her jump down B, the air norm, when she crushes them with their knee? Is it better or worse?
I think it's right about the same, except for she doesn't get that much push compared to 13 when the down B activates in the air. So if you compare to 13, she gets pushed a little bit further compared to 14, which I think, depending on the mix, I think it's easier to mix up your opponent in this game on their wake up if you're going to do a down B Oki with her.
So what you're trying to say is, when you mean push, you mean like... So 14 she drops immediately down, versus 14 she kind of like scoots sideways forward. A little bit, right?
Yeah, forward, yeah.
So it's harder to predict. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, in my opinion, I think it's better.
Hey, is the hitbox for the Ruembu, the quarterback punch, is that bigger now? It looks almost bigger.
No, it's the same.
It's the same?
It only looks bigger because all the characters are about the same build. Because if you look at Mai, she was a little bit smaller in 13.
Mm.
You know, she wasn't as big as she is now, in like character-wise.
She is.
All right.
She is big.
All right.
Oh man, good point.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts, Delaware Neo. What y'all think of Banderas? Reynald?
I was like, who's gonna say something? No, he's a really good character. If you guys were watching, or you know, we were playing at E3, and Mr. KOF had a really good showing with Banderas. He's definitely gonna be a good character.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be. Honestly, there's gonna be a huge cast in this game. If you haven't played KOF before, there's definitely a character out there for you.
That's
true. For sure.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm. I think he has pretty good normals too. Like, I can't remember if it's a special because I hadn't really been following, but I know Mr. KOF used to do a lot of I guess it's like a knee follow up.
Yeah, it's a special. Yeah.
Well, that has a really good hitbox, and then his sweep is really good too. Yeah, man.
He's got a slide. Yeah, his normals are pretty good. They're actually kind of funky looking, the air ones, but they're pretty effective.
And his counter is pretty legit.
Yeah. Counter is really good.
Yeah.
Counter. He's got a command grab. But
his dash can be pretty good too. You can set up pretty good Oki with that too if you space it right.
I think his overhead is really good too.
Yeah.
It's quick.
So getting into that, the whole overhead thing, kind of like we've already been talking about it. Since you're always gonna have meter, like these characters that have overhead, they're gonna be pretty good. Like Banderas is one of them. What's his face? Rio and stuff like that, and Luong. Now there's a few. You think if people can't block overheads, and they're always gonna have at least 1 meter to go into max mode, like people are gonna be consistently ripping overhead into max mode over and over on you again if you can't block.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a different thing from 13 because it's like you had to build the whole maximum meter before you got a big payoff off of it, right? And it was more than a legit strategy because you get so much damage depending on what character you have that now you get, I don't know, at a lot of characters with just 1 meter at least like 500 damage off of an overhead. So I mean, remember you can use the EXs in max mode and it doesn't cost anything. So something to think about.
That's why I said, you know, again, max mode is much, you know, much scarier in this game because you're always going to have meter and you're going to have to look out for other things now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the game mechanics itself, you know, how we were talking about how down B, you know, dash and throw isn't as viable of an option anymore because of how slow it is.
Yeah.
So it, like I said, it's much more fair because the speed of the game is a little bit slower, but you still have different options when it comes to your defense. You know, you can poke out people now who are going to do down B pressure.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. It's like in 13, you just against like the top tier characters, you constantly felt under pressure where it's like you had to look for so many options that were happening at one point, and you had to commit to defense that you had to look for all kinds of mix-ups on top of an overhead that you had to react to and block. You had to react to people jumping in on you or people setting you up for empty jump lows or command grabs and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Regular throws or throws into the corner. God, please, like into a combo. So glad that's not there, man. Like you don't even know, man. Like playing against Chin or Benimaru. Oh my God. Like,
yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, man. So. Yeah, he does have a point though. Like it's not, the pressure isn't as fast. So it does that little bit of time that allows your mind to adjust to the situation is huge because you think about it, like people would just maul you with certain characters and you would have to like either have impeccable defense, which if you watch a great example of this actually is when Reynald played was it Wu in Grand Finals at EVO? Yeah. So if you go back and watch that, you see at a certain point Wu is pretty solid in his defense, right? But once Reynald starts controlling the ground game and starts opening them up, there's just so many options he starts to become afraid of that he just stops blocking jump-ins, and then he gets free pressure with Kyo that's so strong. So it's stuff like that that probably won't be as strong in this game that just totally shuts down players. Like, it'll allow for more adaptive strategies to happen.
And on top of that, that's why I say that 14 is its own game now. It's not. Right. Sure, it has like certain systems like EX moves and max mode that borrow from other KOF titles, but the gameplay itself is going to be different. It's going to be KOF 14.
All right.
Right.
Okay. Safe to say. That's good.
Yeah.
Meta Abe, yo.
Mm-hmm.
From watching you play KOF 13 and stuff like that, I always kind of thought Andy was like one of your favorite characters.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
How was he in 14 to you so far?
Okay, so it was a little hard to adjust to him because it's kind of like how it came through in 7 and everybody else was talking about. Like, this is a different game, and the way I used to play Andy in 13 was more fundamental based, right? So like I was pretty strong in anti-airs and the normal and fireball game. It's pretty simple. It's simple in this game. However, you can get away with a lot more with Andy in this, and his sweeping of fireballs pretty great too, which took a while to get used to because you didn't have that in 13. But yeah, man, I feel like his speed is great. His movement compared to, I know the build that you played, I know we were able to try that build. He did not seem that good to me in that build. But I played the newer one, and I don't know if it's because I became more comfortable with the system, but his jumps felt closer to 13, his movement felt closer, and his Zynekins feel a lot better. Like the hitbox feels bigger. I'm not too sure how the knockdown works on that. Have you guys seen it? I can't remember. Is it a hard knockdown? It might not be.
No, it's not a hard knockdown. It's not like
okay.
Terry.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, because, oh, man, that would have been, like, too good. But, yeah, man, I feel like he seems pretty strong. His fireball's good. Him and EX is pretty good, too. He's able to convert off of the stand CDs a lot, like, real easy. So, like, if you're in a fireball game and you get a stand CD and you cancel it into fireball, you can follow up with Neomax or whatever, like, you're in the corner and stuff like that. So, I just always appreciated Andy's movement to me. He feels like a very strong, fundamental, but fast character, you know, and I really like that type of playstyle.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I always wanted to know. That was that question just popped into my head. Thanks. All right. Who was playing with Joe last week?
Nerd Josh, I know, was playing with Joe.
Okay.
For sure. He put a lot of time into that character.
I used them at the Wednesday Night Fights special when I was playing against Romance. I mean, I dabbled with him a little bit. I think he lost the stun combo. Obviously, you don't really have anything like that in this game anymore. I don't think, from what we've seen so far. I think a lot of characters don't really have invincible moves anymore, unless you're playing like Yori, Kyo, or Andy, or Terry on their DPs. But I don't think Joe's DP is invincible unless it's EX.
Even then, like, I was getting stuffed out of a Wake Up C DP with Andy.
Were you?
Yeah,
okay.
Off of down Bs, and I was like, damn, like, this used to be like money, like, no matter what. It used to catch everybody, and I'd use it on like Wake Up or like on people's Wake Up because it had so much invincibility, and I was like, yeah. But yeah, I was getting stuffed, man. So I don't know, like, probably the best ones are probably like the true DP characters, like true DP characters, which I consider like Robert and like Rio.
No, well, Kyo and Yori still have invincibility on theirs as well. I think Kyo still has his auto guard.
That's right.
Yeah, but. Yeah, DP in this game, there isn't really much of a invincible. A lot of characters that have invincible DPs in this game. Only a handful of characters, which is what I like. Honestly, I think, again, it changes the gameplay in this game from the lack of DPs. Also, the movement, everything.
Okay.
But sorry, you were talking about Joe, right?
Yeah.
His tiger kicks or his slash kicks. Those are a little bit safer. It's similar to Terry's, but it's not as safe as Terry's.
Right.
The T version isn't as safe as Terry's. His fireballs, I think, his hurricane fireballs have a bigger hitbox.
I definitely did feel like it was bigger because I used him a little bit too, and both by playing him and playing against Josh, it feel like he has a much more effective fireball game.
Right. Yeah, he does, and he has two standing command normals, which is back B and forward B, which both combo into each other, which is weird, but they whiff crouching characters, though. So that's also part of the game, like I was saying earlier about like how Benny's standing normals will whiff. It's the same with Joe. So, it's going to be interesting on how people are going to play these characters, because it's not going to be anything like the other games, unless they're playing, Kyo or Iori or Kim. Definitely the new characters are going to be different, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching other people see how they use them.
Speaking of Kim, what did you think of Kim and his build so far, Reynald?
I think he's fair. Yeah, I think he's fair. He's not like 13 Kim, where he just gets ridiculous amount of damage, and he can't just rip EX Hangetsu-zan, for free and just get free pressure off of that. So that's no longer happening. And I like his speed in this game. It's a little bit slower than compared to 13. So definitely a fair character. Still strong, but he's much more fair than compared to 13.
Yeah.
He has less hard knockdowns unless he's going for his flash kick. Other than that, he doesn't really have hard knockdowns anymore.
His DP is more vertical than horizontal. Like in 13, it was very horizontal motion, or like the direction it would go. I guess it's more like the 98 version, where it's like more upwards.
Yes. So if you try to jump on top of him, he could get a lot of, like, if he's cornered and you jump on top of him, he could get you with that move. Compared to how he was in 13, where he'd just totally whiff unless you're waiting for that one exact moment where they're just so close to the ground and you rip the EX version.
Yeah. His stand CD is still pretty chunky. Still pretty chunky stand CD. So, yep.
Okay, and I know some people they didn't like his far D, how like much mileage you can get off of it. From what I experienced and from what I've seen, is not so much anymore.
No.
Okay, that's good. All right. Rio. So I saw you playing with Rio, Reynald. What'd you think of him compared to 13?
I swear 13 was way better than this one. His fireball feels much more different.
Yeah.
It's not as chunky as it was in 13.
Dude, don't you feel like, why doesn't it hit a little bit further? Like like why? Like why doesn't it? Why did they take away the few pixels of distance? Like just let it connect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the activation frames on that too. It's a little bit weird. I think it's a little bit slower.
Yeah.
For the fireball to actually activate.
Uh-huh.
It's weird. It's definitely not as good as 13.
Mm-hmm.
But the character itself is still solid. He still has solid normals. I like how they gave him his 98 standee.
I'm kind of split on that. Like, I liked his 13 standee because it was so chunky.
Yeah, and that's why I say that this one isn't as good as 13.
Oh, it's not as good. You don't think it's as good? Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
Definitely not as good as he was in 13.
Yeah. Oh, so you can cancel it so late too. I think that's another thing in this game. Like, in 13, like you could cancel certain normals like hella late. Like, like Rio standee, you could one hit confirm a lot of things. Like, it feels a lot harder in 14 because I was trying to do far stand C into like activation or even into super or Buster Wolf or whatever with Terry. And it was a lot harder, like, to hit confirm and, like, do it because, like, the cancel frames are so short. But I think this is more of a character-by-character basis because other characters do seem like they have a much longer cancellation frames. I don't know.
Okay. Someone in the chat asked about Sylvie. Didn't anyone of y'all try Sylvie at all?
I tried her for like maybe 5-10 minutes. I didn't like her.
Okay.
She's way too slow. Way too slow. No, her specials I don't think are that great, but that's just coming from first opinion for only 10 minutes of using her. I had that same opinion with Nakaruru, and look what happened. So.
Dude, like yeah. Totally.
So I mean, anything can happen, man. People are gonna start using these characters. You can like, what the heck is going on? You have first impressions of them, but now, look what's happening with Nakaruru.
It's so crazy because it's like, that's why I think like the experience that we've had. It's like, yeah, we did have a decent amount of time to play with it, but there's so many characters in the game that it's like it was a really quick sample, That's why with like newer characters that were introduced into KOF, like we didn't get to explore a lot of stuff. And speaking of on Nakaruru, for instance, for her, I didn't find out until way later that she had the invincible flight when she goes into flight, and that was like the last day.
Last day.
Yeah, that was literally the last day that I was like, yo, like she seemed too simple to me. Like I was like, oh man, like her game is literally just gonna be call the bird and do the low hit and dash move, and that's pretty much her gameplay. I was like, she's kind of boring. Like I didn't like her in that sense. She was probably still a decent character, but once I started messing with the flight, I was like, there's got to be more to flight mode. Like there's got to be more to this. I guess I got knocked down or something, and then I just kept abusing flight mode, and then it was like completely invincible. Like there's a lot of invincible frames in flight mode, and then from there, like Four Leaf and Nerd Josh just kind of took it away, and they started implementing it in their gameplay, and now that character is like super exciting, you know.
Yeah, the funny thing about Nakaruru, Josh and I thought first day one that she was like bottom tier.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that same opinion. I was like, yeah. Yeah, I was telling these guys, like, yeah, she's not that good. What the heck? I mean, her normals were good. Like, it's decent, but I didn't understand, like, why did they even give her the flight? And now you're seeing why.
Yeah, dude. Because I'm telling you, that was going through my head the whole time. Like, the flight's not that dope. Because the angled overhead is punishable. You know, and I was like, okay, and then the drop down kick, like I guess we kind of didn't mess with it. It's if you're in a block string, it's actually pretty good, you know, considering if you're like trying to read pokes and stuff like that. But like straight up, we were like, oh, well, she's kind of like really basic, you know, like you can figure out her gameplay a little too easily. So I was like, oh, like that sucks, man, because I like that character. Like that character's cool to me. I really like the Samurai Showdown series. So once we finally figured that out, I was really excited and happy to see that she's such a strong character and that she's going to be pretty well represented, you know. And, you know, Nerd Josh, a.k.a. Bird Josh, is not tearing it up, man, you know.
Yeah. Her dropkick is pretty good, too, cross-up-wise. I mean, you try to walk under that.
Yeah.
Box. It is not.
Totally seen that. Yeah, that's happened more than a few times. You know, and I'm pretty sure it's plus on block, too. So...
It feels like it.
Yeah.
I haven't tested it too. I was wondering if you could like follow it up with a CD. I know you could follow it up with a C. I wonder if you can do that with a CD because her CD is pretty quick.
Yeah.
But her down C has pretty far range. I mean, you could do like block string down B, down B, down A to, you know, and then that's big pushback, and you can still do a down C if they're blocking, and it'll reach them.
Dude, and then I don't know if you saw the part where Josh started using the EX birds, and it's just like complete lockdown after that. Like, don't do anything, or I'm gonna send
I think it's too fast, though. I think it's too fast. The EX bird.
Too fast?
Yeah, it's too fast, or it's at a... you can probably jump over it. It needs to change the angle, the trajectory of the bird, the EX bird needs to change, I think.
Like, what do you mean? Like, in up close trying to use EX bird? Like, because it seemed like really good from a distance and using it to, like, counter, like, people's fireballs or, you know, people pressing buttons and stuff like that.
Yeah, up close. Well, I think, like, full screen, it's just... it needs to have a better angle. Well, you know what? No, because she's already strong. That's fine. I'm happy with it.
All right. Let's keep things moving a little bit. For people listening, if you're in the chat, if you have any questions for our guys here about any of the characters or any aspects of the game, feel free. Do it now. So I'm gonna ask a question about characters that someone put in the chat. They were Neo, Clark, and Ralph. What do y'all think about them two so far?
Clark. Well, I used Ralph for a little bit. You know, it's hard to say. he doesn't have his charge. I mean, both of them. Well, I don't think. I forget if Clark still has his charge. Back forward punch. Do you know, Kane?
He's on mute.
He played that character a lot actually, so I'm kind of curious as to what he thinks.
Yeah, but Ralph, yeah, he doesn't need to charge anymore for his back forward punch. I think it's a half circle forward now movement, and he lost his ability to combo from stand C into down forward A. So I think a lot of these characters, you have to really commit to a lot of your moves if you're going to go into like high damage combo. Because if they don't have a good command normal after like a stand C or down B, you're gonna have to poke a lot. So his gameplay's definitely changed. I mean, not really. Ralph in 13 was more of a poke style character, anyways. So, but the way you're gonna have to use him in this game is a little bit more different.
Okay. Any other thoughts on those two from Four-Leaf or Meta Abe?
Well, I know Yang said that Clark was bottom tier. I haven't tested him myself, but I don't know. Lots of guard point. I don't know.
That charge move too doesn't have like fireball invincibility, right?
Yeah. The EX version? I don't know.
I don't even know. I don't even know about the EX version, but yeah.
So I don't know what the purpose is of that. His slower command grab. Probably reset situations.
He does have overhead though, right?
Does he? I don't know.
I think he does.
That would be good.
No? Doesn't he have like that foot stomp overhead?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know if did he have it in 14? Does he have it? I'm not sure.
Well, maybe I'll trip in.
That's actually a pretty good addition to it.
Yeah. So yeah, it does have a 4B overhead. Yeah. That automatically doesn't make him crappy.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he has that, because when he goes into EX, like I'm pretty sure he does a pretty good, decent damage. So.
Did you know about that?
He had to. He had to because he's seen Combo Breaker and Stunfest, and I forget what the dude that you guys had, or not Combo Breaker. Sorry, God, what was the one that you went to? Desmond.
Combo Breaker.
Okay, I guess it was Combo Breaker. Yeah, somebody was playing Clark, and he was doing the overheads into max mode.
Yeah, that was Flanagan. Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, that's pretty good, man. Like, cause you're always, like we already talked about, you're always gonna have meter. So I don't feel like he's that bad. I don't think he's bottom tier. But the fact that he has that overhead, and that overhead does look hard to block, I think that makes him decent at least.
Okay. Let's keep things moving. The So Good Guy said, Shanae, have y'all tried out Shanae or fought against Shanae? I know we talked about Shanae just like a quick second, but any thoughts on Shanae?
It's ridiculous on Anchor.
Yeah, like the moveset in max mode, I mean, the character's great in Anchor, but just in general in max mode, the EXs are so strong, man. Like, they almost all of them combo, all the grounded ones combo into a big combo if you just land it, and they're pretty safe. His or the character's specials.
Okay. All right. What else we got from the audience? Well, you know what? Why don't I ask about Kukri? Anyone tried out Kukri like extensively last week? Reynald?
Not extensively, but yeah, I was dabbling with him a bit. He felt like Psyche, but without like the big fireball. And his teleport is definitely better than Psyche's because if you were to jump in, I'd say you can use his teleport as anti-air because if they walk into the after image, the sand after image, it actually damages them.
Yeah.
And you can get a good combo off of that too if you do the correct teleportation.
So also, the character has this move that you can do in the air that's an overhead, that you can instant overhead it, and you could get some pretty decent setups off of that. And you could change your trajectory, so you could like jump and then do the special move in the air, and it'll like make you travel even further. So you might be able to use that against like fireball characters, you know, like you see, you preemptively jump and then predicting a fireball, and then you're able to knock them down. And then after that, you could do a few setups. So, and it's not crazy hard to block, but you know, it offers a good mix up there.
Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Let's see. What other characters did we not really talk about too much? Let me pull up the good old character screen. Oh, Hein. Yeah. What's up with Hein?
Yeah. We nobody actually played with him, but I think he has potential to be really good. His reach, his length, and normals are just pretty solid. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's definitely going to be one of those characters that we see are going to be like, what the heck, he can do that?
Yeah, totally. Because dude, we didn't really give him a shot. You know, it was kind of like, I think where we messed up, well, we didn't have a lot of time, but you look at like Hein, and you're kind of like, oh, he's basic. You know, it's kind of like the same feeling I had of like Nakaruru, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to mess with him. I'll mess with somebody else. But just like Reynald said, I do think that's going to be one of those characters.
Okay. How was fighting or playing with Luong? Because Romance, had a pretty good time with Luong, but what did you guys experience?
She's okay. I think just in general with these characters, you're gonna have to have a strong neutral game. Like there isn't a lot of characters again that has invincible moves, or even supers, or level 2s, or climaxes. So you won't be able to use that as a reversal more often than not. So you're gonna have to realize that your defense sucks and really have to work on that. Luong, she falls into that category where she doesn't have invincible anything. So her poke game, like her little kick that she does on the ground, that's going to be your bread and butter. But she also has an overhead too, which still makes her deadly because she still gets a good chunk of damage off of that, at least 400. But she's not overpowering. That's the thing about this game. Not a lot of characters are overpowering because of how slow the movement is.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Luong from RJ or Meta?
I really didn't get a chance to play with her, but yeah, going back to what Reynolds said, I really think people's neutral game is going to have to be really good, especially for a character like that.
Right. Okay. All right. Oh, were you gonna say RJ?
No, same, yeah.
Oh.
Same feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any y'all tried out K-Dash? Any K-Dash?
Yeah, some cool combos. I've seen some pretty flashy combos with that character, man. Gameplay wise, I tried to abuse certain moves to see how good they were, but honestly, I don't think I had enough time with him. like I was kind of forced to like play like really basic, so like the exploration with that character wasn't really high. So I mean, feels similar. That's I guess my review.
Right. Okay. Meta Abe, I saw you talk a little bit about Mui Mui in the chat. So yeah. Any other thoughts on Mui Mui?
Again, it's like one of those characters where if you have really strong neutral, like you're gonna do great with that character. And on top of that, if you do have great neutral, the character already has great tools for that. So the far stand C, I know you guys have seen that, like how good it is. It's such a unique distance that I don't think characters in KOF have really had off of a normal, and it just, as you can see, takes a lot of time for people to adjust to that, where it's like you're constantly getting knocked out of the air, you try to hop, you're getting knocked back in, and you need to really take into account when you're playing against that character. But I think in general, like, the character's strong, man. Like, a basic, really easy to understand her gameplay, like how to use her. But like damage wise, pretty decent. Neutral wise, really good. I dig her, man. I think she's really good.
All right. Four Leaf, RJ, did you try out Mui Mui or fought against Mui Mui?
Yeah. Good normals, really strong normals. I don't know much else about her. Her specials. Well, her Rekkas are pretty safe, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
Yeah, you can not only. Go ahead.
She has her 3-hit Rekkas where you can do like the third hit as just like a backdash or something like that.
Yeah.
She like flips back. I don't even think you need to do that. You can just like do the full string and still not get punished.
Yeah.
So that's like crazy pressure with that.
Not just that. Oh well, yeah. Adding on top of that, it leaves you. So say you do Rekka and then do the command to do the backdash. It leaves you in perfect range to throw out a far stand C. So it's like everything sets up everything else, you know. And not only that, like the success rate I had with doing stand C into max mode into combo, which her combos seem pretty basic. Like it was, I would say 8 out of 10. Not even hit confirming, just doing it. You know, because people will just run into it so much because it's so hard when you're playing to always take account for that move. You know, because she has such an arsenal to work with.
Reynald, any thoughts on Mui Mui?
Well, she's not OP. I'm going to keep reiterating that in this game, all the characters are pretty fair. Even though she has a really good stand C,
yeah,
you can still hit her. If you get a beat on your opponent, you can sweep the stand C. You can sweep that. So she, right before she activates the stand C, you could hit a down D, and that'll hit her out of the stand C. Clean. That's clean right there. But if she likes to, if your opponent likes to abuse the stand C, like continuously hit the stand C, you can actually counter poke with your own poke. Like you could hit your own stand C, and that'll be a hit for you. That'll be a chance for you to start your offense if you wanted to. So there's going to be a lot of options out there. There's always going to be a different answer for certain things. You just have to look for it. It's not always going to be overpowering. I promise you that. There's going to be one move that you can continuously abuse, like in 13. Like I would say Benimaru's Iodo kick.
Dude, I was just about to say that.
that was one of the moves that you could abuse in that game. This game you can't. Technically, you can block roll and cancel block roll, to punish it, you know, but you're gonna have to spend a meter, and that could be said about all the other moves in this game. You can spend a meter if you'd like. It, you know, it's not going to be a clean punish because you're technically spending a meter. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's a lot of characters aren't going to be that overpowering in this game because there's other characters out there that are going to have different tool sets that they're going to have to adapt to as well, and we haven't even touched those characters yet.
That's true.
All right. All right. Well, since from what I'm seeing, there isn't that many more questions from the chat. We'll step away from the character discussion. I would say section of questions and discussion for a little bit. So I just want to know, man, like, how excited are y'all to play this game? I know it's coming out in 2 months. Like, what's like the level of hype you guys feel just right now to just like play the game?
I want to play it right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay, all right. I see that. I see that. What about you, RJ?
Yeah, I want to play it. I mean, I want to try out Mian, the new character too. I mean, yeah, that's one of the characters I want to try out. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Got a lot of new, what's this? Combo theories I want to try out. Setups, gimmicks. Can't wait. I gotta write them down actually. I might forget.
Yeah, you got to do a James Jr., man. He he wrote out like combos that he saw from I think it was Stunfest or one of the early builds, and he brought him to Combo Breaker when we went. All right. What about you, Mid-Abe? I know you're hella hyped for this game.
Yeah, man. It's just like we were just watching what was it, the CEO exhibitions, right? And it's so fun to watch other people's approaches to the characters, you know, and even on the lower level, like people who may not be that good with the game, because then you start to see like maybe things that you didn't see before. Like somebody had activated into max mode and did EX power charge with Terry, and I like never really tried to see the utility of that move specifically outside of combos, but I didn't know that it had like guard point on it, and I was like, oh damn, I really want to go test that out right now. I was like, I want to go test that out to see what I could do on somebody's wake up if I'm already activated EX, because for Terry, like, it felt like his utility for EXs were really more so on the combo side, you know. But with that, I'm like, okay, now he has legit stuff he can do it in max mode that changed the gameplay a little bit. Yeah, man, I don't know. I just keep seeing stuff that's like makes me keep theorizing about what to do in the future. So I want to tear this game apart, man. You know.
Word, I feel you, man. You know, man, I wish I can like put myself in like a, you know, suspended animation, like, you know what I'm saying, like cryogenic stasis until like at least like early mid August, you know, and then come out, you know what I'm saying, and then just have the game ready, you know, on that Tuesday. But
yeah,
I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to, you know, grind. I don't even have a PS4 yet, so I'm really excited. And Yuhang came through on something. He's so excited he's muted. He can't say nothing because he's so excited to play the game.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, here's another question. Might be kind of a deep question, but we might have to do a whole podcast about this, maybe. But what like ideas or things you think we should do as a community, you know, here, you know, in North America, USA, to really just grow and hype the game up as much as possible?
I think actually you guys and the rest of the KOF community have been doing a pretty great job on keeping some legs on KOF, man. Because I know when we first started, when like Arcade came out, like it was a lot of work, and a lot of us kind of like dropped off, but the rest of the community really pushed the game forward, and that's great because it was always really dependent on a lot of other people as to how well the game gets showcased. I really feel like ourselves, our own community, needs to try to push as much forward our own stuff, you know, and be more in control of how we like to show off our community and stuff like that. I'm not saying like let's not work with people. I'm just saying we need to have our stuff too, you know. And I feel like you guys have been doing a great job of doing that also.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Four Leaf RJ, what do you think? What should we do as a community, or any ideas you have to really just grow and hype up the game as much as we can when it comes out and after?
Show up to events. Mostly, yeah. Go to as much gatherings as you can. I know, like, there can be some, like, divisions within groups, you know, this group doing their own thing, that group doing their own thing, but, man, even, I remember back in the day, like, the Soul Calibur 2, they were, like, big rivals. They were, like, yeah, the groups were separate, but when it comes down to it, you know, when there's, like, tournaments, gatherings involved, you know, people will be talking smack, but they would show up. They would show up. You know, there was some pure hate there, but yeah, they would definitely show up just to see, you know, hey man, I'm gonna kick your butt. I'm gonna talk smack right in front of your face. Yeah. Now it's kind of like, you know, now that there's like online and all that, you know, they have their own thing. I guess the drive is like to. It's kind of like an inconvenience too, but yeah, just show up.
Okay, Reynald, any thoughts on those notions?
Well, in general, for this game to be big, I think you know, we don't have any say on it besides what we can do, but
yes.
Definitely the people who created this game, SNK, definitely has to put their foot in the door in supporting the game itself and the community. Gotta know if they're gonna do anything or not. I mean, I've heard some things. You know, I can't really say much, but we'll see.
That's absolutely true, and that's absolutely right. Yeah. It seems like so far they're doing okay. I mean, they've been you know, showing their face and talking quite a bit, doing a lot of interviews and even like we talked before in the last podcast about the KOF station channel show that they're doing. So it looks like they're getting with the times.
Netcode has to be really strong, especially with the battle system, the team battle system. It has to be really strong. They can't mess up on that.
Yeah, man, I agree. I tell people this all the time. Is like the netcode. They can't drop the ball on the netcode this time. Like it's about that time. You know, it's crunch time. Like you got to come with it. You know, or I mean,
we've been saying that since 12. I mean, look what happened to 13.
I know, man. I know.
So
like, that's why, like, I'm so.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's on SNK too.
Yeah,
it's not only on us.
Yeah,
it's gonna be on SNK.
No, that's 100% correct, man. Because like that's why I'm so nervous. Because like we've been wishing for this. Yeah, since KOF 12. You know, like I remember getting the game, playing online. Can't say more, you know. And 13 was a little bit of a, you know, a step up, but it wasn't strong enough to hold people down. You know, there's still people that play, but at the same time, I really think it has to be on par or better than what's currently out right now, in my opinion.
It improved in Steam. It was a big improvement in Steam, I think.
Yeah,
it could. When are we getting that for 14?
It could be better for 14, man. I think it has to be much better. It has to exceed that, in my opinion. You know. All right, so why don't we close things out? Why don't we sign out in a couple of moments? Y'all have any like final thoughts on KOF 14 so far with the 36 character demo? Maybe even things that you've seen, you know, at CEO from the exhibitions. Anything that's on your mind? Mid-Abe?
I personally cannot wait to commentate this game again. Hopefully I get a chance of doing it with my boy Hell Pockets or in the future. But yeah, I'm excited of all aspects of this game, man. I can't wait.
All right. RJ, aka Four Leaf. Any final thoughts on KOF 14, the demo?
No, not really. I got, like you myself, I got to buy a PS4. Can't wait for it.
Dude, I'm about to hop on Craigslist, man.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that they release it on Steam soon. I know it's like a proprietary thing, I guess. I don't know, proprietary or.
Yeah,
like
a lot of people wondering about that. We'll have to see. We have to let time tell. Okay. Reynald, any final thoughts on KOF 14 from what you're seeing, what you played so far?
From what I heard, a lot of people were excited about the game. You know, people I never thought that would play KOF. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited for what they're gonna bring.
All right, sounds good. All right, looks like you hang K317 is still muted. All right, why don't we throw some shout-outs in the air and sign out. So why don't we start back with Reynald. Shout-outs.
Shout-outs to Atlas for representing, man. They're trying to, you know, they're doing their best getting this game out there. And shout-outs to them.
Great. All right, Four Leaf. Shout-outs.
Shoutouts to Shane Bettenhausen for, you know, that 12. I know that 12 debacle brought down the SNK brand, but him calling out the company, you know, I think he was the ignition to rebooting, you know, for SNK to reboot this whole thing. Other than that, yeah, shout out to Alice.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Metaphysics, shout-outs.
Shout-outs to, I mean, all you guys trying out the game and going to these events. You know, I know a lot of people have gone out of their way to go to like a Combo Breaker or CEO or even try to get into E3 and stuff like that, and to Wednesday Night Fights. For you guys to coming out, you guys have really made it worth it to put in the time as a community to do the best that we can, and it helps motivate myself and other players to do our job the best that we can. And shout outs to my SDR people, the people that have that podcast, you know, Hell Pockets, Gibby, and those dudes out there. Yeah, man. And shout outs to you guys, the community in general, that really still been pushing KOF, even after, you know, it's not at EVO anymore. I mean, you guys kept the lights on while, you know, 14 took its time to come out, you know, so shout outs to you guys.
All right, great. Let's see if we can get some shout-outs from K317, man. You there?
He's still on.
Okay. Okay. I think yeah, he told me that there's a bad connection where he's at, so I guess we'll take the shout-outs in spirit. Okay. All right. Shout-outs from my end. Yeah, shout-outs to SNK. Shout-outs to Atlas. You know, for doing these playable builds, you know, because I know a lot of people, they even wondered, like, hey, is there gonna be a playable like demo or something that we're gonna have? But hey, they're bringing it to actual events where people can play the game, you know what I'm saying, face to face at a tournament or whichever you know, convention that, you know, they're gonna be at. So shout outs to Atlas and SNK. That's a great idea, in my opinion. You know, just bring the game right to the people and get feedback right from the people and the players themselves. So I'm gonna go back through to the promo and plug. So let me switch this over to the other screen, and let's switch it over. All right. You get Dream Council t-shirts at dreamcouncil.com/shop. We're gonna have some new designs pretty soon. They're gonna be pretty dope. Chat with us at the Dream Council Discord server, either voice chat or text chat, and we also have a images section too, where you can drop your favorite SNK KOF images and whatnot. We have a lot of fun up there. We talk about KOF all day. We do matchmaking in there, either playing the KOF games on Steam or Fightcade or what have you. We have online tournaments. When KOF 14 comes out, yo, it's gonna explode. It's gonna be absolutely crazy in the Discord. So
Yeah.
So for right now, like, it's calm before the storm. Like, everything that's happening right now it's just, we're just waiting. But when the game comes out, yo, I might need some extra help. So go to the Dream Council Discord. You can find it on the front page of dreamcouncil.com. Oh yeah, King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition, 2K2 and 13 Steam Edition. They're on sale. The KOF triple pack on Steam, 70% off. If you have under like $12, you can get all these 3 games on Steam. KOF 13 is like, what is it, like $5 or something like that, and 02 and 98 UMFE is $2.99, and this lasts until July 4th. So if you already have these games, buy them from someone that is interested in KOF. I know a lot of people are going to be trying out these games, to try to either try to prepare a little bit for 14, or just to play in general. So take advantage of the KOF triple pack that's going on Steam. You can also pre-order King of Fighters 14. You can go on the Atlas website. They have many different distributors where you can pre-order the game. I pre-ordered mine. I know y'all pre-ordered y'all's, right? I know every single one of y'all pre-ordered the game.
I was contemplating because I didn't have a PS4, but
me too.
I bit the bullet.
Me too, man. It's no big I would say commitment. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just gonna charge you when the game comes out, right? So might as well. So yeah, get it for PS4 and pre-order it right now. That way you can get it right when the game drops August 23rd here in the USA. That's a Tuesday. So be sure to have your day off from work or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That way you can just lock yourself in a room and just play KOF 14 all day. Shout out to our good people at roshinaji.com. What else we got? Summer Jam. Check out Summer Jam X, Summer Jam 10. It's going to be in Essenton, Pennsylvania. KOF may be there. Shout out to Team Chaos. Donate to Dream Council at dreamcouncilsnk@gmail.com. What else we have? I think that's probably it right now. I mean, CO is still going on, so you could probably check out some of the, I would say, the archive footage of KOF 14. I don't know if they're going to do another like exhibition today. Today's Sunday. We'll see what's going on. They're probably packing up. We don't know. But yeah, shout out to everybody at CEO. Hell Pockets is up there.
Yep.
Hell Pockets in Nothing XS. I thought they did some pretty good commentary. I would like for them to commentate more together. It kind of reminds me of like the old school wrestler, like pro wrestling commentary where they have like a color commentator and then
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Well, I mean, I don't know. They both seem kind of like color commentaries to me, but yeah. Shout out to both of them. And for the time being, I think that's really it. I am right now looking for different topics for the podcast, something to kind of hold people down until August 23rd. So if anybody has any like recommendations for people that we can possibly, I would say, interview or any discussion topics. Because I know we've been doing a lot of KOF 14 news and interviews, but if anyone has anything to share, any ideas, you know, post them in the chat, or just let one of us know some way, somehow, you know, through the Discord or forums or something like that. You know, that way, you know, we can, you know, get people ready and hyped for when KOF 14 comes out, because I can't wait. Like I said before, I wish I can just time travel into August and play this game. And yeah, I think that's about it. Please subscribe to our Twitch, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You can even follow us on Google Plus. I don't know if that many people really hang out there that much anymore. If you have any questions, post them in the comment section on the YouTube archive when it goes up, maybe a couple minutes or hours after we go live or go offline. And that's about it. We should have a third part to this soon. We should be talking with some more Southern California players on what they think about KOF 14, the demo so far. And I want to thank Reynald for coming on. I want to thank Metaphysics, Meta Abe for coming on. I want to thank RJ for coming on, and I want to thank K317 for coming on again. It's good to have him back with us. And that's about it. So thanks a lot. Keep playing KOF, and we'll see y'all soon. And keep playing KOF and stay cool. Peace, y'all.
Later.
Later.